Hello friends, welcome to the special lecture which is symbolic expression, and today's theme of discussion is festivals with regard to the series which we are doing on the understanding popular culture. And as the sign language expert we have Manisha Sharma with us in the studio, and we'll talk about the festivals today. In the earlier lecture on the festivals we talked about the various religious festivals which are being celebrated in India. And in that context, we talked about Diwali and Holi as one of the most important festivals, Dashera, in the framework of the Hindu festivals which are celebrated in India. We also talked about the Sikh religious festivals, whether with regard to the Guru Nanak Guru Parb or the kind of other festivals in the framework of the Muslims, when we talked about that how during the month of Ramzan then thereafter they celebrate the Eid al-Fitr, then other kinds of festivals with regard to Urs or the death anniversary, which is also being celebrated by the Muslims in India, and how the Christians they celebrate the festival called Christmas, which is the most important festival for them. And apart from that, they also celebrate Easter as well, which is considered to be an important factor in the context of the festival, which is the symbolism of light in that sense. And we find that in Northern Europe how the use of the special lights at the Easter, it coincided with the custom of lighting bonfires on the hilltops to celebrate the coming of spring. And the main Easter foods, they include the Easter lamb, which is in many places main dish of Easter Sunday meal. And ham is also popular among the Europeans and Americans on the occasion of Easter. And this is because the pig was considered a symbol of luck in pre-Christian European culture. Then in the context of other religious festivals, we find that how the Parsis or Austrians of India, they celebrate Nowruz as their most popular festivals, and it is a festival of renewal, hope and happiness. And when you talk about the origins of Nowruz, they are considered to be obscure, and according to the legends, in its institution is associated mostly with Jamshed, the mythical Iranian king. And till today it is observed as an Iranian national festival celebrating the arrival of spring. And Nowruz survived the advent of Islam and continued at Iranian national festival, and we find that how the Shia Muslims of Iran, they came to associate important religious events with Nowruz, such as that Prophet Muhammad took his young son-in-law Ali on his shoulders to smash idols at Makkah, and he chose Ali as his rightful successor. And we also find that the Parsis of India who left Iran in 10th century in order to preserve their Zoroastrian faith also continue to celebrate Nowruz, Jamshedi Nowruz, as a major feast. And the ceremonies include the recitation of the religious verses, visiting of relatives and friends, exchange of the gifts, organizing the music and dance. So this is how the various religious festivals they are being celebrated in India. And all these festivals largely they try to give the message of peace, the message of unity, and how when people from different faiths they celebrate such kind of festivals, then they not only come together but at the same time they are also arguing the case for the composite culture of India. Apart from that, we also see that the festivals, the way they are being celebrated, the seasonal festivals, and how most of the festivals in India mark the beginning of a new season and a new harvest. And this is rooted in the fact that India is predominantly an agricultural economy, and so festivals are associated with the agrarian society as well. And in that context we find Makar Sankranti, Pongal, Holi, Baisakhi, Onam, etc. They herald the advent of a new season and new crops as well. So when we tend to understand these festivals, these traditional festivals, the other new festivals which are becoming very, very popular, and how these festivals are able to attract the people as well. And when we try to name them, we find that boat race festival, mango festival, garden festival, kite festival are some of them which are considered to be the recent or the new festivals, and how people they also in a way associate themselves with these kinds of festivals. And but at the same time we also have to realize that these festivals, they should not be treated in any isolated manner, as these two are organized in appropriate regions and seasons as well. So their organization is not all that random, but they are being treated as some kind of planned festivals as well, though they may appear to be seasonal in nature, but over a period of time they have become very popular as well. So we find that many of the religious festivals too are based on the different calendars, and so they are seasonal in nature. But there is a thin line of difference between the festivals of the religious nature and the seasonal ones, and many times we find that the worship of divinities is an important feature of these festivals. So when trying to distinguish between the religious festival and between the seasonal festivals, we find that they both of them, they are very close, and many times we find that some of the festivals, those who do not have any kind of a religious sanction or religious appeal, but these festivals are also such in nature that some kind of religious fervor is being attached to them. So in a way we have to understand the nature of the festivals, and therefore only we will be able to in a way distinguish them according in a manner where they will be considered as the religious festivals or they are being treated as the seasonal festivals. So in that context, when we find that the recent festivals, some of them, they are based on the different kinds of entertainment and popular products, they differ in nature from the traditional seasonal religious festivals. So such kind of festivals, when we tend to understand, for example, Makar Sankranti, winter solstice, it falls in the month of January, and on this day a bath in Ganga is considered sacred, whereas in South India devotees, they bath in Krishna, Kaveri and Godavari, and they make offerings as well. And Makar Sankranti is the only Hindu festival celebrated according to the solar calendar, for it marks the transition of sun from one zodiac sign to another, and this is called Sakraman, and the day is also called Sankranti. So we find that how this particular festival, when it is being celebrated across India, different kinds of connotations are being attached to it, and we also see that especially in Ahmedabad, or for that matter Jaipur, how people, they fly kites on this particular festival on Sankranti, and they also eat products which are made of til and jaggery. So in that context, and they also attach a lot of religious significance when one is saying that the people, they take bath in Ganga, which is considered to be sacred, and in South India similarly they bath in other sacred rivers. So in that sense we find that such kind of festivals, they not only carry on the traditions of celebrating the festivals with entertainment, but at the same time they have a lot of religious significance as well. And when you talk about the Sankrantis, generally it is said that there are 12 Sankrantis in a year, but most important are those which are occurring in the months of Ashad and Poos. And in the month of Poos, 14 January, sun appears against the constellation that represents zodiac sign of Makar, and this is also the beginning of Uttarayan, which is the auspicious half of air. This cosmic phenomena is celebrated with preparation of items using sesame seeds, sugarcane, jaggery and sugar all over India, with minor variations. And when you talk about that way, such kind of festivals, when they are being celebrated in south of India, then this festival is celebrated as Pongal, and which takes its name from the sweet dish prepared by boiling rice in a pot of milk. And in Punjab, where December and January are coldest months of the year, huge bonfires are lit on the evening of Sankranti, and it is celebrated as Lohri. And the sweet sugarcane and rice, they are offered to the fire. The fairs and the regional dances, they are being organized in different parts of India, and ritualistic bath in sacred rivers is considered auspicious on this day. So we find that the different regions of India, they are trying to celebrate these festivals in a different manner, and at the same time we also find that how these festivals, though many a times they are seasonal in nature, but they have a lot of religious significance as well. And apart from the way they are being celebrated in terms of eating, we also find that a lot of fairs and the regional dances, they are also being in a way organized in different parts of India, and they are in a way also seen to be some source of entertainment. When people, they are dancing and they are going to the fair, then they are catering to this idea of entertaining themselves. And in earlier times, when we did not have the modern means of communication as we have now, then such kind of fairs, such kind of regional dances, they provided solace to the people, those who in a way engaged in them, and they also were seen to be a very strong source of entertainment as well. And we find that how Baisakhi is celebrated on the first day of Baisakh month, which is the April and May. And this month also marks the seasonal change in northern India. Cultivators, they have just obligations incurred to provide for Rabi crop. On this day, sacred offerings of Rabi crop are made and these are eaten. Hindus take ceremonial dip in the sacred rivers and worship cattle. Fairs or melas, they are also being organized, and there begins the manufacture of new agricultural implements for the cultivation of new crops. So we find that how different festivals, they have different kinds of appeal for the masses. And as I told you, Baisakh, as it is being celebrated, and how Baisakh also marks the period of the seasonal change, and we find that the two crops, the Rabi and the Kharif, these are the two ones, and how both these crops, when they are being cultivated, they have different kinds of connotation for the people. And we also find that various kinds of melas or fairs, when they are being organized during this particular period, so they are also asking for the manufacture of the new agricultural implements for the cultivation of the new crops, because the new season cycle has arrived. And when you talk about these kinds of festivals, when they are being celebrated in other parts of India, for example, Onam, which is again the harvest festival, is the most popular festival of Kerala, and it is being celebrated in August, September, which is a 10-day festival, and it coincides with the beginning of the harvest season, and it celebrates a happy blend of myth and reality. So in that sense, when we try to understand, or in a way try to see these festivals, then we find that Onam again, which is a harvest festival, and it is a 10-day festival, and the way it is being celebrated in the southern part of India. And when you try to see it in the framework of the various kinds of myths or legends which are associated with it, then it is trying to bring back the memories of the folklore traditions since ages, and how they are centered around King Mahabali, whose reign was famous for the prosperity, equality and the righteousness. And according to the tradition, every year people of Kerala, irrespective of caste, creed or color, join together to welcome back their legendary king. So how the myths and legends, they are also associated with these kinds of festivals, and how they play an important role in them is also an important concern in these kinds of festivals. Then we also find that how a floral carpet called Atha Pukalam is in front of the houses is also being done from the first day of Atham to the 10th day of Thiruvonam in the part of the festivities. And this symbolic gesture is to welcome King Mahabali. Carnivals, boat races, dance, music and feasts, they are being organized during this festival period. So we find that how Onam is being celebrated with so much variety and concern during this time, and we also find that various kinds of activities, whether they relate to the activity of the carnival or boat races, dance, music, etc., they are being organized to entertain the people, those who are concerned with these kinds of festivals. Then we also find in terms of food, a sweet dish called payasam is served in every house on plantain leaves, and this festival has become a great source of tourist attraction as well. And when we tend to understand that how these kinds of festivals, they impart not only the issue of entertainment, but at the same time the next generations, they are also able to learn from such kind of presentations which happen during the times of the festival. Then some new seasonal festivals, they have also become very popular. Boat race festival is associated with Onam, and it is among the most popular of these, and it is the part of the celebration of the new paddy harvest in Kerala. And we find that on this day boat race competitions are organized in the backwaters of Kerala at the places like Aleppi, and the boats are very long in different shapes. These are decorated and sailed by scores of boatmen. Apart from that, we also see Mango Festival, which is again an important festival, as you can see on the screen as well, and how it helps in the promotion of the mango cultivation and a great center of attraction for the domestic and the foreign visitors as well. And this is also celebrated at popular centers in almost all major mango producing states such as Saharanpur in UP, Panipat in Haryana, Delhi, etc. So we find that mango has so many varieties, and it is being consumed in large quantities not only in India, but it is exported as well. And these various qualities of mangoes, they are being in a way revered by so many Indians, those who consider mango to be the king of the fruits. And we find that so many domestic as well as the foreign visitors, they also relish mangoes, and how at the various popular centers this kind of festival is being celebrated. And the states which are engaged in the cultivation of mangoes, they also celebrate such festivals, but generally they are organized in early July, and the mango eating competitions are being held. The fairs or the melas with cultural evenings are organized, and mangoes and its plants, they are also sold to attract the commercial visitors as well. So we find that Mango Festival is one of the important festivals in the recent times. Apart from that, we also see that the government and the other NGOs, they also engage in terms of promoting other kinds of festivals. The garden festival over a period of time is gaining some kind of popularity, and this festival is organized every year in the month of February, and in Delhi it is organized by the Delhi Tourism and Transport Development Corporation. And this festival, when you talk about the garden festival, then it highlights the importance of the horticulture and the enhancing knowledge of the visitors in this field, as well as to make the participants aware of the new discoveries in the field. And the competitions of the flowers and the plants of the various species, such as potted house plants, vegetables, fruits, foliage plants, etc., they are also being held. So these competitions of in a way, they promote that how people, those who are engaging in terms of their cultivation, they discover new kinds of varieties, they in a way promote them in a certain manner, and the people, those who are participating, they also are aware of the new discoveries which are happening in the field. And we find that how the people, those who are participating as individuals or organizations in terms of various departments or horticulture departments or nurseries, they also compete in them, and how prizes are also being given to the people, those who are doing good in these kinds of competitions. And it is accompanied by the on-the-spot painting competition, cultural programs, sale of rare plants, and the organization of the seminars to discuss the problems of gardening, etc. So similar to the garden festival at Delhi, we find an international flower festival is organized in the month of April at Gangtok, which is the capital of Sikkim. And we also find the tea festival is celebrated in the major tea producing states like Assam, Bengal, Himachal Pradesh, Tamil Nadu. And in Himachal Pradesh, Kangra Valley tea festival is organized in June, whereas another important tea carnival is celebrated at Darjeeling in West Bengal. In Tamil Nadu as well, tea festival and tourism festival is organized together in January, and the festival aims to benefit the planters and those who are related with these particular industries. So we find that how people, those who visit these areas, the tourists, those who are there, they are also in a way trying to set up that how more and more people they visit such kind of festivals. And we find that, as you can see on the screen as well, that festival is not merely confined to the planters and tea industry, but it is also promoting tourism to these hilly areas, as the visitors may also be attracted to other destinations in that particular region. So we find that how various kinds of festivals in India, how they are trying to communicate the various traditions of India. And in that context, we find that the kite festival is again very popular, not only in Ahmedabad and in Jaipur as well. And these kinds of festivals which are being organized in different cities of India, whether Ahmedabad, Jodhpur, and how people they also engage in some kind of kite flying, feasting, and the cultural programs they are also being organized, including the folk dances as well. So we find that kite festival is not only popular in India, but other countries like Japan, Thailand, Malaysia, Canada, USA, all of them they are also participating. And Ahmedabad is known as the city of kites, and it has an international kite museum with kites of other sizes, colors and shapes from the different countries. And we also see the exhibition of the kites and the contemporary Indian handicrafts, they are also being organized, and how this festival where kite flying is turning out to be the popular sport in other countries as well. So Gujarat Tourism Department is paying special attention to explore this popular event and make it more colorful and attractive for the tourists. And we will also see that apart from these kinds of festivals, that how the religious festivals they have been organized, or the seasonal festivals as we have talked about, the other kinds of festivals which can be related to culture, and how they in a way highlight the cultural traditions of India, and they also try to show the traditional art of India. And we have seen that the various tourism departments they have also taken initiative to highlight the unique cultures and traditions of India. And these festivals they may include, they definitely include the Phool Walon Ki Sair, a flower festival, elephant festival of Kerala, a desert festival of Rajasthan, music and dance festivals in different parts of India. So all these kinds of festivals which are associated with culture, we will discuss them in our next lecture, where we will not only talk about the cultural festivals, but we will also talk about the travel festivals, and we will also try to rate them with the various fairs which are being organized along with them. So I'd like to end the discussion here. Thank you very much.